Bum-ba-da-dum.
Good morning.
We should have thrown a Christmas song in there too. We had a
Yeah,
little Christmas playlist going here just before we went on, and then you caught the last 30 seconds of it or so. And then we should change like our theme song for like a good holiday music theme.
Christmas.
Although we're pretty
almost
close.
done.
We're pretty close. 1 week away, right?
Right.
So, yeah.
It's been going by so fast. Wow. I can't believe we're December 17th already. And I know we've been talking about getting this iPhone 12 rundown for you, and we're doing it today. We're like, we've got to do it before the end of the year. So that we've had some time to play around with this a little bit and take some video clips. So we're going to tell you what we think, and then you can judge accordingly whether you want to upgrade to that or not.
Whether you care what we think or
Yeah,
not,
yeah,
right? Yeah, that's the big thing is, we're always about, hey, let's get you the best tools that you can get, but save some bucks as well along the way. There's no point in spending money if it's not really going to make a big difference. And every time they bring out a new phone, they tell you about all kinds of cool stuff that's in that phone, and is it going to be helpful to you or not? And a lot of what we're going to talk about today, all of what we're going to talk about today will be about the quality of video and how will this iPhone 12 help you make better videos or not. There's a lot of other great things out there. It's a faster processor. The screen's amazing. There's all kinds of really cool stuff about it. But if you're just making your decision based on whether or not it's going to help you make better real estate or other videos, then that's what we're going to do for you today.
Yes.
So let us know if you're here, if you're joining us. If you are, I can't see our feed here anywhere, so we're just kind of flying blind, but that's okay. Let us know if you're here, if you are, where you're joining us from. Do you have an iPhone 12? Are you thinking about getting an iPhone 12? Are you like, nah, it's always just a big marketing hoopla, and I don't really care?
Well, the first thing, though, is
you didn't even notice that I said hoopla.
I noticed. I just ignored it.
I was like, I'm going to get hoopla into today's live.
That's what you do. You think of different words to just squeeze in there all the time.
It is very fun, yes.
Yeah, okay. If you are thinking of upgrading, though, I mean, now is probably the best time of anything to do it, just because they have pricing that is good right now. We had like Black Friday, Cyber Monday. I'm sure there's going to be lots of Boxing Day sales, that sort of thing. So if you are eligible for an upgrade or thinking about upgrading, now is probably the best time of the year to do that, just because of all those sales that are going on. But
I see Kelly's here.
Right.
She says, good morning, everyone.
Hello.
Christian's here. Hi. Guten Morgen. What a beautiful day out there.
You did that really well.
Well,
and
you
Jeremy's
think I did
here.
that really well. I wonder if Christian thinks I did that well. We will see. What's happening with our...
That always takes a minute to come on.
It just never works.
I
don't
know.
understand.
All right. So, what do we love about the iPhone 12?
So there's definitely some great things about it.
Yeah, we should mention first, though, there's 4 iPhone 12, right? There's an iPhone 12, an iPhone 12 mini, an iPhone 12 Pro, and an iPhone 12 Pro Max.
Right. Let's put
Apple
out 4
overload.
different types of video.
They just want to dominate the market, right? And say to Samsung, you just skip to the S20, so we're going to put out 4 phones. So they all have some great features about them. Obviously, with the newer phones, they always say that they always improve the cameras, right? So the iPhone 12 Pro Max is the one that we have here, and I was eligible for an upgrade. I don't normally go for the latest, greatest, but we did this time. I was eligible for an upgrade. The pricing was right because we did it around Cyber Monday kind of thing. So we said, let's just go for it. So we did that. I do really like the features that it has, but it's got a whole bunch of stuff that I kind of had to say, well, what does this mean?
and is it important, right? So first of all, I want to point out that Christian said I was 95% there. So that was pretty good. I will take that 100% sure. Timothy's joining us. Good morning, Timothy. And he's got the 12 Pro Max, just got it last week. Terrific. Kelly just bought the Pro Max 11, and now she's thinking, oh, should I have waited for the 12? Well, hopefully you got a good deal on it, first of all. But the spoiler alert will be, no, not really.
Yeah.
don't worry, it's
You're
not
good.
gonna. Yeah,
You're
you're good. You're gonna be able to still get so much out of that. Some of the things that one of the things we really love about this new iPhone 12 is the ultra wide lens. So the ultra wide lens in this is about 13 millimeters. So when we show you the moment wide angle lens in our training and that kind of stuff, that's about an 18 millimeter lens. So this one gives you 13 millimeter, which is even a little bit wider, which is really nice. You're getting that same thing on the 11. And they've run that ultra wide through every different version. So the mini, in the past, sometimes when they made a smaller version like the iPhone SE, they kind of took a lot of the features out of it. But in this case, the 12 mini seems to have all of the features in it, including that ultra wide angle lens, which is really nice because it's a small, kind of nice, manageable kind of phone, depending on whether you prefer kind of a bigger phone or a smaller phone. I know for me, each year that passes, I seem to need to get my phone a little further away from my eyes to be able to see it well. So
you realize there's a fix for that though too, right? Glasses.
Yeah, the problem is I can see that, but I can't see this, and it's
you'll see Aaron walking around in 2 years with a ginormous iPad, so he can see.
Yes.
Hello?
Jeremy said that he got the 12 Pro Max as well. Took some video, but had trouble with the HDR footage. Yeah, we're gonna get into that for sure.
Yes.
We definitely love that ultra wide angle lens. If you get the Pro or the Pro Max, you're also getting a telephoto lens, so that's the third lens, which is great for getting kind of a little bit more zoomed in shots. Now, as you know, we're always saying don't pinch zoom with your feet, get closer if you need to, and that zoom lens, that telephoto lens, works really well.
It compresses you, which is nice, instead of stretching you out.
And which is really nice when you're on camera, right? It makes for a much more flattering look. But that the 12 Pro has the 2x lens. The 12 Pro Max actually has a 2.5x lens.
Yeah, which is equivalent to like a 65 mil. So when we show you the moment lenses in the course, it's a 58 mil.
Right.
So it is. It's zoomed in a little bit more. I don't use it.
It's a little too much, right?
It is.
Yeah,
it is.
It's I don't know. The 2 is almost perfect for portrait, for being on camera. Like, it's really, really nice. The 2.5 is just a little bit too far. You kind of have to have the camera a little bit
more.
About 0.5 too far. I don't know why they did it that way.
I did there?
I sure did. I don't know why they did it that way.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know if it had something to do with the sensor or what. But regardless, it's. It's there. It is what it is. It's definitely usable.
Yes.
Now, the one thing to be careful of with the iPhone 12 is in the new OS is they have that dial zoom thing where you can dial between the different lenses. So you can see, well, if you went between the 1.5 or the 0.5 and the 1, you could kind of see 0.7, 0.8, 0.9. Or if you went between the 1 and the 2.5, it gives you each step of the way. But don't use it because
it's using the regular lens that's in the default lens in your phone, and then it's digitally zooming to each of those little points along there. So it's like the pinch zoom.
Does the same thing.
Yeah, and you can find that if you don't know what we're talking about. If you just on your when you're on video and you see the 2.5 1 times and 0.5, if you just hold down on the 1 times or the 0.5 whatever lens that you're on, you'll see a little dial come up. Right. And that's what we're talking about there. So you can dial around, and I think it goes into like 7 times. So you can go further than 2.5, but then you're going in 7 times, and everything is just like completely
we don't want that.
Distorted and pixely and looks grody.
Yeah, and they keep trying to. They did that with the Samsung Galaxy as well. They put like a super zoom in it, and it's all great except that it looks like crap. So nobody wants to use it, right? Because it's all just digital. Now, we've done a couple of tests with the 12, and in good light, it's actually not bad. Right. So we still say for now, stay away from it. Just use the 3 lenses, and then if you need it closer or further away, move closer or further away.
Yeah.
But it does work pretty well. Now, there's some other really cool things about this 12. HDR. So Jeremy mentioned that he got it and had a little bit of trouble with HDR. So they've got this new Dolby Vision Hdr. And what HDR does is it basically increases the dynamic range of the image. So what that means is it can see darker and brighter in the same image. So as you know, if you're filming a living room, you're inside, you're in a living room, you're filming something, and if you got a lot of light coming in from the windows, and then it's kind of a little darker in the living room, some of it's going to be really blown out, like the windows, and some of it's going to be so dark you can't even really see it. Higher dynamic range means you can see more of the bright part and more of the dark part. Now the downside is you have to have an HDR monitor to be able to get the full effect of that. So the phone has an HDR monitor. We were playing around with this.
It looks phenomenal.
Yeah, on the phone it looks amazing. Bring it onto the computer, it looks a little less amazing because unless you have an HDR monitor. But if you're uploading these videos to Facebook and YouTube and that kind of thing, no one's seeing it in HDR.
Right.
So it still gives you a little bit more dynamic range. It's still going to give you a better image to start with, but it's not really going to give you the HDR, and it comes with a big price.
Yes, and it defaults, if you put that HDR setting on there, it will put everything to high efficiency. Defaults it to high efficiency. Every single setting, even like the 1080-60, because it's going into HDR. So what we talk about with high efficiency, you want to be at most compatible, because then you're going to have issues when you're editing. It's going to be glitchy. It's going to be hard to edit. It's it's process intensive.
Processor intensive.
Thank you.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. And that's not just in Rush. Like Premiere Pro can handle that, but you can't then edit that on your laptop because your laptop's not strong enough. It's going to choke. So you're going to need a really good computer to be able to handle that.
Now,
right?
You may have heard Apple's just released this new M1 processor chip, and they're putting in the new MacBooks and the new Mac Minis and all that kind of stuff. That M1 chip handles H.265 or the high efficiency codec like a dream. So this may not be a coincidence that they've put this amazing feature in their phone, and you need certain processor to really get the most value out of it. And they put that processor right in their Mac Mini and their MacBook and all that kind of stuff. So they certainly are good at encouraging you to get the next most important thing.
I should before we go on, I should give a shout out to my mom because she's
hello.
watching today. Hello.
Good morning, and Michelle's here as well. Good morning, Michelle. So Jeremy's saying yes, switch over to most compatible. Yeah. So yes, which takes away the HDR function. So here's the thing. These phones come out. Same thing happened with the Galaxy S20. And we're like, wow, they got all these cool features. Let's bring them out. Let's show it. Oh, turn them all off. Even the 4K, the 8K, all that stuff, turn it all off. Yeah. So now, having said that, there are a couple of things that are really, really great about this iPhone 12. The first one is the regular lens in this is the best lens, camera, phone combination I've ever seen in a phone, as far as getting your best quality video.
And he's a Samsung fan.
And I'm a Samsung fan. It's beautiful. It's really, really nice. Now you're getting about that 26 millimeter view, which is great. Works really well for most of your video stuff. When you're filming a property, like inside in particular, it's nice to use that ultra wide angle. But when you're using the regular lens, it's great. It's like f1.6, which means it lets in lots of light. It doesn't look grainy. It looks really, really nice.
And you need light.
You need light to make a good image. Yeah. So Apple says that lens lets in 27% more light. So the thing that we love about that lens, though, is kind of what takes away from the other two lenses. Because with that lens, it looks beautiful. It looks really, really nice. The ultra wide, on the other hand, is still the f2.2, I believe. And it's a little bit more shadowy. And we're going to show you a couple of examples here in a second just to kind of show you what we're talking about. They're not huge differences. It's something that you kind of see and go, do I want that? Do I not want that? But definitely the more light, that lens is amazing. On the Pro Max, it also has that sensor shift stabilization. So I know a lot of us are, we love using the gimbal and, getting good camera movement with the gimbal. You can get a lot of those same kind of movements now without even using the gimbal. When you match it with the gimbal, it's even better. But we tried it on just the handheld rig with that image stabilization in it. It's really, really good. It works really well.
And just to let you know that we have the I can't speak today, the Osmo Mobile 3 gimbal, and I balanced the iPhone 12 Pro Max on it. It works fine on the gimbal. It works on the rig. We're showing that's it on the rig right there. So it fits on everything too, because it is a little bit bigger. than the other phones. So I was a little worried that it might not fit on the rig, but it does. We're all good because I like the rig. It's fun.
Yeah, it's really good. It works really well. This phone, I mean, there's some other really great things. The design and style on it's amazing. The screen is unbelievable. Like it's a beautiful, really, really nice experience to use it for filming, but just using it as your everyday phone. There's a lot of really, really cool things about it. And it gives you, they've got a couple of other things. They built in this LiDAR autofocus, low light autofocus. And basically what that's going to do is just give you a little bit better performance, autofocus performance in low light. It basically just works better in low light. That's such a big part of what they've done with the 12. And if you had the 11 and you ever used the portrait mode for photos and things like that, the 12 and the new OS does that even better. It works really well. That's more for photo as opposed to video. But it's a great phone. There's no question about it. It has a lot of really, really great features. And we actually just ran a real quick kind of video here to show off a little bit of what it can do. Little Christmas flair in there. Why not, right? Gives you kind of a nice look at that. This is just sort of a little bit of while we were filming this. Did the whole thing. I don't think we used the Osmo at all for this one.
No, we just used the rig, which the iPhone's on right now, and then just attach that with the shoe to the tripod. For some other clips. So it works really well. Like that rig on the tripod gives you those nice panning and tilting shots as well. And then you can just easily remove it to get in to some closer shots. Obviously, like the tripod is sometimes hard to get in between furniture and stuff if you want to get something that's in a corner or something like that. It was really good for those tree shots and the shots that were on top of the mantle or the fireplace and whatnot. So you could get it nice and close and move with it, and it works really well.
Worked well. So a couple of things. So there's some things that definitely we love. We're going to show you some side-by-side comparisons just to give you some idea of how it works and compare it to some other phones and that type of thing. But there's a couple of things that we don't love about it. So the first one is, I started to say it already, is the regular wide lens looks so good that when you see the ultra wide lens next to it, especially if you don't have great light, it really, you can see the noise in it. You can see that it just doesn't have the same image quality.
Yeah. We noticed that when we were doing that video there in that room, there was a lot of different light. There was like white light from the windows, but it was very yellowy with lamps and stuff inside. So I found on the wide angle when we were panning, you could really see the shifting too, and a lot of noise. And when you turned it back to just the regular lens, the default lens, it was a lot better. It was really weird because I had that 10 before and I was like, I don't remember this happening. Why is this doing this? I'm really disappointed now because they were saying that this is the best camera. And,
best phone.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
Angela was having a little bit of a
A little bit of a moment.
A little bit of trouble there, but she really wanted to tell me how much better it was than the Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra. She really, really
Well,
wanted
my
to tell me
regular lens still kicks butt.
Absolutely.
So
There was a couple of things that we noticed in filming with this. One was the shifting in the exposure. So as you know, when you're in a room and you see sort of some dark spots and some bright spots, the phone will shift the exposure to compensate for that, unless you lock it in, right? Which is fine, and that's always worked really well. This phone, though, we noticed it doing it a lot more. And then same with the white balance. Like we noticed that, if you've got more window light, daylight kind of balance, it's a little bit whiter, a little bit kind of blue light, where if you get more into like the tungsten kind of look, then you're going to get a bit more orange light, and it's going to shift the white balance to compensate for that as well. Now the phones have been doing that all along, and we've kind of just been dealing with it all along. And at first I thought, this one just seems to be so much more sensitive, and we're seeing these huge shifts in the white balance and in the exposure. But then when we actually went back and looked at the footage on the computer, you didn't notice the shifts quite as much. So part of the problem is the screen is so good, like the performance that you're seeing right on the screen it was really magnified, like you could really see those shifts happening. Where when you brought it back and kind of had it on an HD LED monitor, you didn't see the shifting quite as much, but it's definitely there, and it's definitely something that is becoming more problematic as the phones are getting better. It used to be just kind of shoot it and let's go. Once in a while we might lock the exposure down, but really we weren't paying a lot of attention to the white balance. And in this case, the video that we just showed you, the white balance was shifting quite a lot. That's something that we're going to have to address more in our courses and in what we're doing, is how to do that, make sure that your white balance is good. The problem is, right in the native app on Apple, you can't set or lock the white balance.
Right.
So hopefully at some point they're going to adjust that, but right now you can't do it.
The only place you can do that is if you're using Adobe Rush for editing, you can go in there and actually use through that app to record video, and it will let you set the white balance there.
Yeah, or you can use, like, the DJI app has it. Right. I believe the DJI app, you can set the white balance manually. You can use something like Filmic Pro or any of those. There's lots of apps out there that you can use. Even the Moment app on the iPhone, it lets you set your white balance. But it's kind of one more thing we got to pay attention to that really we didn't have to pay attention to as much in the previous phones. So it's something that you're going to have to kind of live with or figure out and get better at.
Now, I didn't find it quite so bad when we did a couple of panning shots in our own living room. It's very white light there. So I don't know, and this is it right here. So that's the regular lens. That's the 1x lens. So the default lens in the camera, in the phone.
Yeah, and this one looks really good. Like you're seeing here, you can kind of see some detail in the house through the window. You can still see the detail kind of in this dark colored couch. And this is what we were talking about, that nice dynamic range, is when you can still see detail like in the shadows and in the highlights. That's where it really looks nice. And this lens on this camera is really, really nice. Now here's the ultra wide, and I don't know how well this is going to come through on the Facebook Live, but on the footage that we're looking at, we can definitely see a difference in the quality of the footage, especially in the darker places. You can see in the darker places a little bit more noise, a little bit more grain. It's a little bit fuzzier, and that can be a problem for sure. So, and then this shows you the
2.5.
The telephoto, the 2.5. So you went from, there, which is, and the tripod, we're in the exact same spot for all three images. So there's your regular lens, there's your ultra wide lens, and then that, did I miss it? And then the 2.5, the telephoto. And again, you can kind of see the grain a little bit more in it. You're probably not really going to use this a whole lot in this type of situation anyway, for filming a property video or something like that.
I would just get closer to what you want.
Yep, for sure.
Instead of using the 2.5, just walk closer.
Yeah, for sure.
Zoom with your feet.
Now we also did a nice little comparison here between the 12 Pro Max with the ultra wide lens. And you can just kind of see a little bit of the noise, like around the TV. You can see it kind of, that's where I find you can kind of see it, is where it's a little bit darker. The wall on the right, it's pretty minimal. And one of those things where you're going to be like, well, am I okay with that? Do I want to just live with that and go? I would say for the most part, yeah, you're going to probably just say, hey, you know what, this is pretty good. And one of the things with this stuff is, we do get kind of nitpicking, right? Particularly I do, where I'm like, well, I don't know, it looks a little bit grainy or a little bit fuzzy. But the truth is, when you upload this to Facebook or Instagram or YouTube, it's going to get a little less quality anyway, especially on Facebook and Instagram. And, we always say this isn't about making great videos, it's about growing your business, right? So is this going to be something that somebody looking at a home is going to go, oh, I don't know, that footage is a little bit grainy, I don't think I love that. Not really. And the practical thing is, hey, having that really nice ultra wide lens, having those 2 or 3 lenses built right in and being able to kind of quickly make that video is probably going to be way more important to you than the quality. I just can't wait for these phones to come out with that, that nice f1.6 on the regular lens and the ultra wide and the telephoto. Then that's going to be the perfect phone.
You should go and pitch that to them if they don't.
I'm sure they want to do it.
I'm sure they do too.
They want to do it. I don't know what's keeping them from doing it. Yeah, so we'll shift back here.
Maybe they're waiting till 2024.
Yeah, they got to keep you buying it, right?
Yeah.
So here again, from the original video, so 2 scenes. There's the ultra wide. And you can kind of get a good idea of what that looks like. And you can see like the tree is a little fuzzy, a little bit out of focus. Here's the regular lens again. It all just looks a little bit sharper, a little bit crisper on the regular lens. So one of the things that we would suggest is, as much as you can, use the regular lens. And this is true with all the phones. But we are going to show you a nice side-by-side comparison here of the 10R, the iPhone 10R, and the iPhone 12, so you can see the difference in the lens quality, and there is a noticeable difference for sure. So there it is again, and in this case here, I think you can probably really see it. You can see that noise in the chair on the left and in the couch. That where it gets dark, it just starts kind of breaking up a little bit and just looks a little less sharp than it does when you're using the regular lens like we are here. Here, everything just looks really, really nice. Hopefully you can see it on your end. I know on our end, we can definitely see it here.
And it's hard putting it through Facebook too to really get the full effect maybe. But.
Yep. For sure. And like we said, we know we're nitpicking a little bit on this. When you punch in on the 2.5, you're starting to see, and this is a perfect example because this kind of gray in the couch, the tree versus the wall, this shows off that kind of grain or that noise really, really well. So that's why we wanted to use these examples. But if you're seeing this and you're going, I don't really know what you're talking about, it looks fine to me, then perfect. Go with it, right?
Yeah.
Just use it. Now here we're just showing you the difference here between the iPhone 10R with the Moment 18 and then the 12 Pro Max with its built-in ultra wide. And that's the difference between the 18mm Moment lens and the 13mm built-in on the iPhone 12. And just a reminder, that 13mm lens is on all 4 models of the iPhone 12. So you get that really, really nice wide angle look to it. And that, especially if you're making property videos, that's going to really do a nice job for you, and you're going to get a lot of value out of that for sure. And you can see the quality's better. The 12 ultra wide is better than the 10 with the lens on it. And then again here, you can see the difference between the top image is the iPhone 10R regular lens. The bottom image is the iPhone 12 Pro Max regular lens. And this is the same focal length, like it's the same size of lens, but you definitely can see a difference in particularly the chair on the left side of the couch where it's close to the Christmas tree. Well, we can see it. Hopefully you can on your end as well. Let us know if you can see the difference there. But that's the difference in quality in the new lens. So it's there. We see it. It's noticeable. But is it 10% better?
Right.
Is it 20% better? Is it 50% better? Apple says it's 27% more light. So would you agree that it's 27% better? I would say it's probably 27% better. That's probably about where I would put it.
But really, I wouldn't let that hold me back to do a listing video or to do a tip video or to do a profile video on yourself or community videos. of the sort. Like
Yeah.
I would still go ahead and do them no matter what phone I had, because you're still getting that video out there. You're still getting the information out there that's going to give value to people that are watching it, to your viewers. And that's ultimately video, no matter what phone you have, is going to grow your business, right? It's going to showcase that property. So I don't think, you're going to have a homeowner go, well, you don't have the iPhone 12 Pro Max.
Image was a little,
so
the image was 27% grainier than I thought it would be.
So I don't really want you to take video of my home to sell it
Yeah.
because you don't have the latest, greatest phone. That's not going to happen. I mean, you're not making this video for Aaron, who's going to nitpick it. No, but you're not making it for people to nitpick. You're making it to showcase the property, or showcase your community, or give value to your viewers through your tip videos. So just I mean, that's my advice. I'm not really giving you much advice other than you don't have to buy it,
you're
right?
100% right. And that's the whole point of doing it this way, is sometimes people go, well, I see there's a new iPhone 12, or this person has an iPhone 12. Maybe I should be getting that. Or like Kelly said earlier, I got the 11. I didn't know the 12 was coming. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
It's just not going to make enough of a difference for anyone to notice. I notice, you'll notice, but what does make a good video is good storytelling, having those different angles, being able to put together that little story, adding some nice music to it, editing it together, including yourself in it. Those are the things that are going to make your video 100 or 200 or 500% better, versus using this phone versus the 10 or the 11 or the 8 or whatever you have. The difference in quality there is going to be minimal. The difference in having this because you're putting together a great video, that's where you're going to see the biggest difference.
Yeah, like Kelly, when you put up that video the other day of you mixing those delicious looking drinks, I wasn't going, well, she doesn't have the iPhone 12 Pro Max, so I'm not going to watch this. I thought it was a fantastic video. Yeah. It was you were entertaining. You gave knowledge of how to mix these drinks. It looked delicious. Everything was fantastic with it. Your tip videos are fantastic. Like, everybody that's putting out videos is fantastic, and we love to see them. Mm-hmm. So, and everybody has a different phone, and it's okay as long as you're just taking those steps to do your videos.
Yes,
right?
for sure. Yeah. So let me show you. Jeremy was asking for some optimal settings. We'll give you that for sure. Let's just show you one more quick frame here. So the top frame is the iPhone 12 regular. And the bottom frame is the iPhone 12 Pro Max. Same lens, same tripod, same location. A little bit off in our timing, but it's the same image, the same shot. I would suspect through Facebook you're seeing zero difference in these two shots, these two images. When I look at it, I see less than 5% better quality out of the 12 Pro Max, which does have a bigger sensor than the 12 regular, but I don't see it. I don't see the difference in the two. Certainly not enough to make you think that you're going to get any additional performance out of the 12 Pro Max over the 12 regular, which is the same as the 12 mini, the 12 Pro, the 12 Pro Max. Like, basically look for the features that you like the most in it. Now, the 12 Pro Max, one of the things that I would say the one thing that you would buy the 12 Pro Max for over the others is that image stabilization in the main lens. But if you're using a tripod or especially with a tripod, it won't make any difference. With the gimbal, it might make a little bit of difference. But I would say, 30 minutes of, well, should I get it or shouldn't I get it? I would say, like we said a couple of weeks ago, if you are ready for an upgrade, if you're the kind of person that says, you know what, I really want to get that new phone. I like having the new phone. I like having that. Hey, we're not going to say don't get it, because you will get better results from it. There's no question. But if you just bought an 11 or you just bought a 10, or you're saying, you know what, it just doesn't make any sense for me to upgrade my phone right now, then we would say, don't worry about it. Don't get hung up on that. It's not going to hold you back from making great videos. So right. Should you get it? I would say it's totally up to you. If you're ready for an upgrade, it's a great phone. It's the best phone we've seen yet for video. Is it that much better that you should get out of a contract early or extend it to something that you don't need? Absolutely not. And then the other part would be, well, which one should you get? Do you get the Mini? Do you get the regular? Do you get the Pro? Do you get the Pro Max? Because there's lots of different pricing. And I know here in Canada for sure, our cell service providers, the pricing has changed. It used to be, they'd just give you a phone, sign up for another 2-year deal, and they just give you a phone, and that's ended. Now you're basically financing it through your deal, and they've kind of made some big differences on that. So no matter what, now you're going to see that difference in price for sure. So pick the one that makes the most sense to you from a size standpoint. Pick the one that makes the most sense from a, for your how much physical size, but also how much space is on it that's gonna make that work for you. So Jeremy, for optimal camera settings, good news, don't change it. Most compatible, 1080, 60 frames per second. If you're speaking on camera, you could bump that down to 30, but if you forget, don't worry about it. You probably got more space on your new phone, so you don't have to worry as much about that space. But that 1080, 60 is still going to give you the best results. We would turn the HDR off because we don't want the high efficiency. And I would say use the main lens as much as you possibly can. As much as we love that ultra wide look, when you need it, use it. But the more you use the main lens, the better off you're going to be as far as your image quality. Any other settings you think we'd change?
No. 1080 60. That's where I when I got the phone, I turned it on. I put most compatible 1080 60. I'm good to go. The good thing that I like about the update, though, the OS update, is that now with the iPhone, you can actually see what you're filming at up in the corner when you're on video. So it will say HD, which is your 1080, and then it says a 60 up above that. And you can just click on, just touch the 60, it will change to 30. You can touch the HD, it will change to 4K. So it's very easy to do it that way now, instead of having to go out of that app and then go into your settings and scroll down to camera and go into camera and then go into settings there and do it. There was about 4 steps, and now it's right on the screen, which is great.
And that's in all of them. So as long as you upgraded the OS, then you're good there. So John's asking here, image quality for the average person probably doesn't justify moving up from the 10 to the 12. Okay, so first thing, just before we skip past that part, so this is the 10 versus the 12. This is the image quality between the two. So if you can see the difference, now again, you're maybe, because we're doing this through Facebook Live, which is probably at 720p anyway, maybe you're not really seeing the difference. But if you can't see the difference between these two images, then absolutely do not upgrade for that purpose. If you can, and you go, you know what, I really want to make sure I've got the best image quality, then it may be worth upgrading for you. I would say it's probably not worth the upgrade just on its own. Now the image stabilization is definitely a nice upgrade for sure, and they've done a great job with that. Again, it's just on the main lens, right? But on that main lens, the image stabilization is really nice. And then on the ultra wide, that ultra wide, the field of view is terrific. It doesn't have that same image quality. I would suggest that the ultra wide image quality and the 10 image quality are on par. That's about what you're going to see there. That ultra wide is really, really nice. Now, the one thing we haven't had a chance to do yet is try the Moment lens on the iPhone 12, because the Moment cases, the 12 cases are on back order. The 12 Pro Max cases are on. The case is good, but they did a little insert for the camera part. So that's a pre-order. So we're just waiting on that. That lens, the best lens with the Moment lens on it, maybe it's going to even kind of add to that again. But we see the hassle of buying the Moment lenses and having them there and using them, and
you got to have a different case, and you got to take it in a little bag and then put it on, and then you can't use it with the gimbal because it gets all wonky. I mean, if you have a tripod, you can use it on the tripod. It works on the rig as well, that Moment lens, but it's heavy, right, on the side of your camera, or on the side of your phone, so it will cause an imbalance. As much as you try to counterweight it with counterweights with the gimbal, it's still, I've never had luck with it. It just ultimately frustrates me. So I just like the simplicity of putting it on and pressing record.
Yeah. So John, I would say hopefully that answers. I would say yes, the image stabilization is great. That ultra wide is really nice. If you already have a 10 with the moment lenses and cases, if you've already invested in that, then I probably wouldn't make the jump. But if you haven't done that and you're just kind of starting to make your, especially real estate videos, that ultra wide is really, really valuable to have, especially just to try to kind of make a room look a little bigger or show off the room a little bit better. For a long time, real estate photographers and videographers, that's one of the tricks of the trade, right? Is to use a wide angle lens, not fisheye, not that super wide angle, but somewhere in that 13 to 18 range is perfect for that. You're welcome. Hopefully that will help you make a decision. I feel like we were a little wishy-washy on whether you should buy it or not.
I know.
For everybody.
I was like, we could have just came on and said, well, so here's our take. It's your decision.
I would suggest that the next thing that would make me say yes to buying a new phone just on this one thing would be if they got the ultra wide angle lens down to like that sort of f1.6, so that the ultra wide angle lens, if it had the same performance as the regular lens, then I'd be all over it. That will be the next phone. Hopefully that
you'd be breaking your contract all over the place.
Yeah, I doubt it's going to happen before these contracts are up.
Yeah,
though.
but
That's
what
the
if
thing.
it's an iPhone? Would you, over the Samsung, would you switch back? That is the $1 million question.
Maybe.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think it's helpful for people that we have both, and we can kind of give them both sides of the argument.
I just like to bug you.
Hopefully that helps. Hopefully that gives you a little bit of an idea of what you can do with this phone.
Yeah.
Most importantly, I hope it helps you see that don't let that phone or whatever hold you back from making your videos, because you want to grow your business. We're so excited about 2021 and being able to grow your business with this with these videos. If you've been part of what we're doing, we've been talking a lot about our new course that's out now for members and that's coming soon for non-members. All about making these videos and getting out there and creating and sharing these videos. And we know it takes some time, and for a lot of you, you're new to making videos and you're kind of like, is it worth it? But we're already seeing Kelly's on here, Jeremy's on here, people, Christian's on here, people that have 3 months ago, 6 months ago weren't making their own videos, and now they are, and they're seeing that kind of results. And the key is just get making those videos, right? Don't sit back and go, oh, well, I'm going to wait. And I do this, I'm guilty of this. Well, I really kind of want to get that lens or this thing. Just don't wait, do it.
Yeah, there is one thing that we're not wishy-washy on, and that's knowing that video works.
Yeah.
So we've seen that firsthand. We talk about Erin's mom's business all the time. We've seen that firsthand with hers, but we've also seen it firsthand with you guys that have taken our courses and that are putting out your videos. That you're getting, you're selling homes, you're getting a call to sell another home because they saw your other video. It's just that other tool in your toolbox, right? That you have control over it. You can do it when you want to. You don't have to wait. You don't have to pay somebody. It's just a lot easier, and it makes it so easy when you have one of these, whatever model you have, already on your person in your pocket, so you don't have to go out and buy a DSLR camera and another lens with it and spend thousands of dollars on equipment. You've already got it.
You got everything you need. Excellent. Good stuff, Valerie. You are very welcome. We're glad to hear that this was helpful for you. John, I would say that ultra wide is the biggest reason to upgrade for sure. If you think that the iPhone 12 is going to be a good fit for you, for any of you watching, let us know. And you get it, let us know what you think. If you don't, that's cool. We're definitely not getting any commission from Apple to get you on board or not. We just want to help you make the right decision for you. And obviously, as you can tell, our version of the right decision is use what you got and make some videos.
Just make videos.
Yeah. So we're coming up on the holiday time. That's it for today. Thanks so much for joining us. If we don't see you or talk to you before that, we might be. Who knows? We love talking to you guys and sharing some stuff. If we don't see you, Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays, however you're going to celebrate in the next little while, which is probably going to look very different for everybody. And I know it is for us. We're in Ontario, Canada, and things are kind of getting a little bit more locked down each day as well. And so we hope you're safe. We hope you have a great holiday, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.
Yeah.